Hi, some advice in advance of a lockdown. If you can't go out, go in. I've been pretty lucky about how I've been set up ahead of this lockdown in Italy. We're in day 3 now, but it happened far faster and far more strongly than we expected. So there's a few things. For most people, this is likely to be more similar to flu than a zombie apocalypse. That means that if any damage is more likely to be mental than physical. So for me, there's a few things that make life more positive. I'm taking this as a great time to do a bunch of things. One is to tackle all those long outstanding tasks at home, from spring cleaning and decluttering to painting. Some people might want to plant vegetables or tackle their long standing admin or read some of those challenging books you always said you were going to read. Anyway, I'm painting the house and learning Spanish on Duolingo and reading Salman Rushdie. So, anyway, there we are. So if you're not allowed to go out for social events, you'll still be allowed out to go and buy food. So ahead of time, rather than concentrating on panic buying pasta and bog roll, maybe you want to look at the things that you're likely to want to do ahead of time. So go and buy some paint or some seeds or whatever it is that'll help you get those long outstanding tasks done. This is also a great time to spend some time on yourself. Now, I don't watch TV. Life is a lot better without absorbing other people's fears. I get this feeling that they're called programs because they end up programming you. Anyway, rather than being a conspiracy theorist, my news comes from The Economist, but there the biases are very obvious. And also I get stuff from social media, but that is far more openly full of complete rubbish. So, part of this taking control of what I get hold of, part of the taking control is leaving the phone in the hall at night, charging, no phone in the bedroom. I also don't look at it until I've done my early morning cup of tea and morning breathing, meditation, yoga stuff. That way my agenda is set by me and not by other people's preoccupations, which does make me feel a lot better. Anyway, so back we are. The theme: if you can't go in, go out, go in. If you can't go out, go in. I've been really lucky since my kids left for uni about a year ago. I've been able to look at doing stuff just for me. So far, that's been lots of yoga, which has given me a new body and much better breathing, and sometimes even meditation. All of that helps me take control of my mind and my body. So I'm feeling strong, I'm not afraid of the virus, and it's easier to be positive about life. So it's a bit of a virtuous circle. The yoga stuff has always sounded like an introduction to a cult and weird tea drinking habits and stuff, but luckily that hasn't been my experience. It's been just a way to feel more grateful and to take more control over me. If you're not in the lockdown, maybe there's a chance to start a yoga class. I'd personally recommend not starting one with lots of mumbo jumbo, weird vocabulary and insistence on eating strange stuff, strange diets. I enjoyed the ones I went to. The teacher smokes and eats meat with the rest of us. Far more real. But I guess if lockdown's coming and you can't get to a class, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. I quite like a channel called Yoga TX. There's some instructors there who sort of keep you company. There's lots of different levels. And the great thing is that they don't respond when you give them full and frank Anglo-Saxon feedback on what they think you should be able to do and you really can't. Anyway, if you're still looking for a reason to take up some of this stuff, looking at yourself, doing yoga and that sort of thing, there's a really interesting book by an English author who writes about Italy, Tim Parks, Teach Us to Sit Still. If you're down the road a bit about wanting to look at yourself a bit more, there's Don Miguel Ruiz and Mastery of Self, with something strange called Toltec Religion, but there's some interesting tips in there. And there's a book called The Honeymoon Effect by Bruce Lipton, which I found interesting. There's a lot of this stuff that seems a bit like pseudoscience. Some of it's interesting, some of it's a bit weird. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, people like that are all on YouTube. If they don't provide answers for you, maybe they give you a clue on where to look for some answers. But anyway, here we go. That's some stuff to do, stuff to keep yourself occupied, and there we go. It's a great chance to spend some time on yourself. You deserve it. All the best.